You know, I really have to watch the way that I dress when I go into shops or like servers. Because the look that these guys had on their face when I walked into that server today, this one right here, look at me like I'm some most wanted. And it's completely my fault. Like, look at what I'm wearing, bruv. Like, I look like I'm about to rob someone. Don't condone robbing people due to the fact you might get caught. And then some little kids run out of the store, full of goods in their hands. Like, brother, are you gonna chase them? Like, what's going on? It's just hard being black.
I'm in Australia and I've never felt more alone. Let's talk about it. I'm in Australia and people say that I've made it. They'll look at my life and think I'm winning. But let me be honest, I've never felt more alone in my life. Yeah, the streets are clean, the buildings are tall, the opportunities are everywhere. But what's the opportunity when you've got no one to share it with? No one here really sees me. They don't know the weight that I carry, the pressure to succeed, the guilt I feel when I rest, the shame when I can't send money back home. And it's not that I don't try. I smile, I go to work, I make people laugh. But when I get home, when I'm finally alone, it hits. This silence, this emptiness, this ache to hear somebody say, I'm proud of you, I see you, you're doing okay. Sometimes I miss the noise back home. I miss the chaos. I miss my people. But this peace in Australia is too quiet. Let's talk about how loneliness, you don't even realize it's killing you until you are too deep inside.
The thing with Australians is they don't think they're racist because they hide their racism with jokes. Everything is hee hee ah. It's not funny. You're racist. Like, Australians are actually so racist to the point where they've gaslighted themselves into believing that they're not racist, they're just funny. I kid you not. That is literally Australian racism. Australian racism is humor. So it's so funny when you see them under American like content talking about the racism experience in America and they're just like, oh, that's disgusting. Oh my God, Australia's not like that. Oh my God, we don't have August 31st. August 31st. Tell them what's happening on August 31st. Tell them where you're going to be on August 31st. Liars.
Welcome back to the channel. This is Hosting Stories KE, and today I want us to face the elephant in the room and talk about race. Let's talk about being black in Australia. I've seen multiple creators sharing their stories, and for a very long time, guys, we've known if you are an African American, black person, or any person of color, and you go in a congregation or a country or a city or a town full of white people, you will be exemplary. It doesn't matter which continent or what part of the world you are coming from. But in this episode, I want us to focus on blacks in Australia, where they come from and what they are experiencing because of just being black living in Australia. We've known for a very long time there is this thing called black profiling. We've been profiled for the longest time. In every city, every town, every country, every continent, as long as you are a person of color, you will be profiled. We've seen people being followed in shopping, in marts, followed everywhere. We've seen drivers stopping. We've seen drivers of color being stopped in traffics because of their race. We've seen people being profiled as criminal because they are black. But in this episode, I just want us to watch some of the experience the black people living in Australia are experiencing, their mistake being black in Australia. We want to watch their experience. Let's listen what they're experiencing being black in Australia, and then at the end of this video, I'll be giving my research and my commentaries. Let's watch this together, and remember to subscribe in the meantime.
Welcome to another episode of Being Black in a Small Town, African Australian edition. racism. Now, the racism in small towns is literally racism pro max. It's built different. Because when I tell you, I was passing through an even smaller town, as in this place only has one postcode, with the guy that I was seeing at the time, and he was white. We're at a restaurant, eating our breakfast, minding our business. Why did this old white lady stand up from her table, come all the way to our table? She was struggling to walk, mind you. She then came and started screaming at the top of her lungs, "You're tainting the pure bloodline!" Hey! If you think that's bad, I used to work for a corporate office where I live, and when I tell you, I got called the N-word by a Caucasian lady 5 times in the middle of work, and I had like 10 plus witnesses. I reported her, did everything the right way. Do you know what happened to her? Nothing! She even got her own office by the time that I left. Don't you love it?
I low-key have been dreading answering this question on here because although yes, I am black and living in Australia, I feel like my experiences with racism will be completely different to a black or indigenous person that's been born here or raised here from a really young age. Like, my experience will not be the same as theirs. I did think at the start, like coming to Australia, like, oh my God, like, what is it gonna be like? I've been pleasantly surprised. I'm not saying that racism doesn't exist in Australia because it obviously does. I'm just saying that me personally, I haven't experienced it yet. I've said this before in a different video, but I found a job relatively easily. I got an apartment relatively easily. I didn't feel like I was being discriminated against. So yeah, like I haven't really experienced anything. I think it's important for me to say that I live in Melbourne CBD, loads of different types of people here. Although not many black people here in Melbourne CBD. I have heard though that maybe different parts of Australia are more racist, like going up north to the Northern Territory or like in Queensland. If you are black and thinking of coming to Australia, do not be put off. There is a black community here, maybe not in the CBD, but in other parts of Melbourne there is. There are black clubs, there's black food, like there's hair shops, like you'll be fine. And I also want to say at the end here, like, I am not negating anyone's experience with racism in Australia. If you feel like there is, I believe you. Listen, I believe it. We all know the past. We all know the situation. Even me coming from the UK, that is basically a racist country. I can understand if black and indigenous people are saying Australia is racist. I believe you.
Always stay ready. As a black African Australian, it's so hard finding work in Australia or even to be represented by a proper agency. It's hard. They just won't accept people like us.
And you think these people accept you as one of their own, but they don't. They don't accept you at all.
They just don't see us. And even as on a network, you will see most of the networks, whether ABC or SBS or Channel 10 or Channel 9, it's hard to see black people presenting or hosting or even having lead roles or even being in home underwear. It's rare. This they can get is someone who's mixed.
Negro, please. Didn't somebody tell you this was an all-white party?
You won't see a lot of African Australians. They just won't take you. Even opportunities given to us on TV, it's rare. You will find one black person representing the whole of Africa. And you need to understand Africa is in 56 countries in one continent. Africa is a continent, so it has like how many languages, how many nationalities. So we need all nationalities to be representing because one person does not represent the whole of Africa.
Get your fucking ass up and work.
As an actress, I make sure I work 10 times harder. Those opportunities are not there. Sometimes you just gotta seek for them. I don't just wait for my agent to find jobs for me. I don't just wait for someone else to give me a handout. I reach out to people, to be honest. You know, and let me tell you about this one day. I went on this website. I was looking for an acting role. The role description was a black male with a Jamaican accent that can drive a manual car. It's like, okay, not a male, not Jamaican, but I'm gonna apply. Immediately I submitted my audition. So I went and I did my research. I started perfecting that Jamaican accent, you know what I'm saying? Calling up some Jamaican friends. I can't drive a manual, yo. What? This is mine. I went and I paid for a driver to teach me how to drive a manual. I started driving a manual car before I even got a yes. Before I even got back to me after a week. They're like, hey, Suze, this role was for a guy Well, we're happy to change it into a girl's role. And finally, they said, you've got the role. They said, you've got the role. They flew me to Kubapidi. I flew on the plane with Aaron from MacLeod's daughter.
Going to Kubapidi.
Yeah. Kurt gave me an opportunity in that film, and it's because I was ready. I prepared.
We're looking to get to Kubapidi.
Jump in. I'm Elvis.
The real one?
No.
Well, I'm Monday.
Like the real day?
Exactly.
Jump in.
Thanks.
Me being lonely in Australia, let's talk about it. You ever start changing yourself just to be liked by the people who still don't really seize you? I used to think the problem was me. Maybe I was too different, too black, too African, too honest. So I start changing my accent, my clothes, my personality, trying to fit into a space that were never built for people like me. But the more I change, the more I disappear. Until I realized I wasn't the problem. The problem was that I was trying to belong in a place that never tried to understand me. And I'm done shrinking myself, done making myself smaller to survive. I'm done performing just to be accepted. I want to be seen for real this time.
Now, not only in Australia, but being black anywhere where white people are, it comes with consequences. Of course, you are the odd one out. If something happens, you will be the first suspect. You will be guilty until proven innocent. You will be profiled as a gangster or a criminal unless proven innocent. And this is also affecting the people, the black people, and the black person living in Australia. Now, I did some digging of the challenges these people are going through living in Australia while you are black. And here is it. Let's break it down for you guys so that you can really understand what I'm trying to say in written terms. Now, being black in Australia comes with a unique challenge that are shaped by history, culture, and present-day system. While Australia is a multicultural country, black people, including the African immigrants, Afro-Caribbeans, and indigenous Australia, often face experiences that differ from the broader population, including the white people's population. Now, here is the key challenges of being black in Australia. Number one, and the elephant in the room, and always stands out, racism and discrimination. Australia has been known to be the most racial country. Oh, forgive me for saying this, but we've seen, according to this video, we've seen, not just the left video, but according to this, we've seen that Australia is more racial to people of color. Overt racism, including slurs, harassment, exclusion, is still reported in schools, workplaces, and public spaces. Subtle racism, being followed in stores, assumption about crime, being overlooked for jobs or housing is still experienced in Australia. Number two, representation and visibility. Black Australians remain underrepresented in media, politics, and leadership position. When present day, they are often stereotyped, e.g. athletes, entertainers, instead of being shown in diverse roles. Number three, policing and justice system. Indigenous Australia face extreme over-policing and are imprisoned at disproportionately high rates. African youths, particularly from South Sudanese or Somali communities, are often unfairly profiled as gang-related by police or the media, especially in the first clip of this video. You've seen how that young man is saying he has been profiled as a criminal just for wearing that jacket. This is what they are facing, being black in Australia. Number four, employment and economic barriers. African migrants often having higher qualification but struggle to get job equal to their skills level. Name discrimination happens because resumes with African names may get fewer callbacks because they are African. That is racism. Number 5, cultural isolation and belonging. Black Australian can feel isolated due to the small size of their communities compared to the majority population. We've seen on the second video of the clip. We've seen the second clip of this video on the intro. That man says he feels lonely and isolated because he is living in Australia. Being black in Australia is a huge challenge. Many reported feeling like outsiders even if they were born in Australia because of their color or race. Number 6, health and mental well-being. Of course, if you're being profiled as a criminal because of your race or color, you will start having mental issues. You will start asking yourself, why me? Why wasn't I born a white person? You see, these are the things that are affecting these people because experiences of racism can impact mental health, including stress, anxiety, and depression. Also, access to culturally sensitive healthcare limited. Number 7, media narrative. Mainstream media often portray black communities, especially African youths, as dangerous or problematic, feeding negative stereotype. Yeah? You see, and a positive contribution by black Australians are underreported. They just report the negative things about being black in Australia, but they don't report the positive ones. They don't give a positive feedback of being black person in Australia or what we are contributing because you are black in Australia. And these are the kind of topics we've been talking about. Only truth and the bitter truth. In the comment section, we will see some Australians are against this. But in reality, we've seen a protest that is coming on 31st of this month. They are saying they are going in the street to protest. A march, calling it March for Australia. But sources are telling us that this is not about Australia. This is about race. This is about immigrants. This is about the people who are not Australians living in Australia. The Australian people don't want them anymore. They want Australia to belong to Australia. They want Australia to belong to Australians. They don't want any foreigner in their country. That is why they are marching, because of this racial factor. They don't want these people gone. Because they are claiming that these people are taking and filling up their country. They are coming into their country to take the job opportunity. They are struggling to live because of these immigrants. These immigrants have come and taken away all their position. But in reality, Australia is a land of many things, many opportunity. It's not a land of Kunta Kinte. It's a land of many, many opportunities. And I believe whether immigrants are there or not, people can still coexist. But they can't coexist because Australia is being racial to them. Being black in Australia comes with a huge challenge. You can't get a job easily because you are in Australia. You are being profiled as a thug, a criminal, simply because you come from Somali, South Sudan, or Sudan. You feel idle, you feel lonely, you feel isolated because of your color. People don't want to interact with you because the public will see you are interacting with a bad person. But in reality, there are some good people that are living in Australia who are black. I mean, we should just normalize saying this thing we say in football. There will be no room for racism anywhere in the world. Not just room for racism in Australia. There should be no room for racism anywhere. Because at the end of the day, we are human beings. Some of us even are discriminating this race. But in reality, we have some African origin, some black origin. We need to dig deeper. We have some African American origin, African motherland origin. We need to dig deeper. So this race factor is something that is affecting people living in Australia. And these are just some of the story they are sharing among millions and billions of other stories that are coming from Australia. And that is the challenge of being black in Australia. Tell me what you think in the comment section, guys. Let's have a really nice discussion. I really need to know what are your thoughts on this topic. And then at the end, remember to subscribe. I'll see you in the next episode. Adios.